Hey guys, a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. I hope you are all doing well. And today I decided that we should have a session on batch numbers and serial numbers, how they work in Dynamics 365. Because recently it occurred to me, it was the kind of a hot topic recently I implemented, and the user is actually very much engaged in the combination of batch numbers and serial numbers and so on. Then it occurred to me that I haven't discussed a lot, I think even a bit, about how we are managing the batch numbers, the serial numbers, and the combination of, perhaps a combination of both of these in Dynamics 365. So in this session, we'll try to cover a little bit of basics and some of the important features, how we are going to set up, how they can be set up manually, automatically. But first and foremost, I would like to tell you that we'll take up this process slowly, and we'll then build up a base, and finally, whatever the possibilities are there, we'll try to explore those. So first comes the batch numbers. I think everyone knows what a batch number is. It's actually used for the items which are actually prepared in lot. Let me say, you can take the very common examples can be like, fruit juice, or you can say the production of milk. And I think most of the FMCG industries, the things which are actually having properties like they may expire after some time, so sometimes a sampling is also done. If a sample is found defective, the whole lot is discarded. So basically this is for the tracking purpose. If you understand batch numbers or the serial numbers, we both use these numbers for tracking. If something is wrong with a particular product, then definitely the quality management is going to have a look at the lot ID, from which lot it was, and then they're going to complain this to the vendor, and the vendor is going to, he or she is going to further retrace it back to the exact problem of why all of these things happened. Similarly is the case of serial numbers. Basically in batch number, what is happening is a lot is uniquely identified. So remember, guys, a batch number, when I say batch number, we mean that in one batch, in simply, let me say, uh, batch AB. In short, it means there can be multiple items, and it makes sense. Let me say the batch AB is comprising of item X and the quantity is 500. So basically, the lot of 500, we can call it as batch AB. So this is how the numbering will be different. It depends on the customer in what ways they are using the batch number and all. So in this way, basically the lot is unique. It is used to identify a lot where we can have multiple items within that lot. Obviously, we will have, whereas serial numbers are a little bit different in this sense. In serial number, basically every item is uniquely identified. As you can say, a common example, it can be, let me say, laptop. It can be any electronic item, like any, let me say, pen drive, or you people call it thumb drive, whatever. So basically they are having the serial numbers. And one of the most important fact is that it can be used, for the warranty issues, or probably I should say warranty tracking. So I hope we are able to get the differences between the batch numbers and serial numbers. So here the item is uniquely identified. So yeah. Plus, I've seen implementations. I was doing an implementation in the LPG manufacturing industry, and now these guys are actually, they're producing the empty LPG cylinders, and they are using a combination of both, the batch number as well as serial number. So it was a very common scenario there. So basically, we can have a batch number as well as a serial number, and the combination of both of these will actually identify a product. Let me say, the steel sheet or the coil, from which you are able to design the body of the empty LPG cylinder. Now it is, let me say, we can design 100 cylinders from there. So basically, about the product quality and all, you can track using the batch number. Plus, every cylinder is delivered to every home. So individual cylinder can be tracked using the serial number. So basically, you can have a combination of both of these. And if there is no tracking, like batch number is not there, serial number is not there. So usually, what we do is in the tracking dimension, we just use none for that particular item. So I hope now the concept of batch numbers and serial numbers is pretty much clear, and so we can get started with D365 and see how the things are implemented. Okay, so let me start it. This is the environment which I just prepared. Recently, I think I uploaded the video for the same, how to prepare the trial environment. So this is just a trial environment, which is actually 30-day trial. So what I'll do is quickly I'll create the item. This is absolutely new environment. So I'll create product information management. This environment looks slow. After all, it's the test environment provided by the Microsoft. I'll just try to create one item with a batch number, and then let us see how we can use the batch numbers and all. So I'll create new. Let me use the product. Okay, let me call it VK juice. Product name, search name. Okay. Item model group, I'll select anyone. Really doesn't make a difference. Select anyone. Storage dimension, I'm not using the advanced warehouse management. I'm just using the simple Saturn warehouse, because tracking dimension is the major thing on which our discussion is based today. So guys, if you look at the tracking dimension, there you will find like how your item should be tracked. As you can see, you have the batch number, serial number, and for the consignment view, you have the owner dimension. So we can have the the various tracking dimensions. As you can see here, the coverage plan is included. Here is simply batch physical. So what we need basically is, if we want that a system should have a batch number and should be tracked throughout the inventory, make sure create a new one and make sure this one is active. So guys, if you try to if you enable this, let me just create one. Let me call it uh, v batch. So yeah, you will have to click on save, and then these things will pop up. So I'll click on batch number. I want the physical inventory. I want the primary stocking. So far, so good. And I'll just click on save. Well, this is all you need to do. Remember, guys, okay. Let me click save. If you want that your system only should be tracked using the batch number, make sure batch number is active. If you want your system should be tracked using serial number, make sure serial number is active and batch, and these two are disabled. If you want that your batch number as well as serial number, both the items should have tracking on both of these, make sure to enable both of these. All right. So this is how, and this is why we use tracking dimension. Tracking dimension is very much important. And if you don't want to use any of these dimensions, this is the way to go. None. Just create one, because this is mandatory in item setup and you don't have to select anyone. So in V batch, I can see that I have the batch number as something which is active. I'll click on save and I will just use this here. V batch. That is it. That is it. Let me try to add a purchase price. Let me say sales price, so that I don't have to, add these again and again on the purchase or the sales or the lines. Okay, I think this is enough. We can click OK. This environment is actually pretty slow. Anyway, so once you've created the item, now just to see how many batches are already created for this item, you can have a look at this batches. So right now we do not have any batch. We can create one. So this is like the manual way of creating. For example, you want to receive something, you want to transfer something, you should have this batch. So I'll just try to create a batch number here. And we'll also see how we can do this, automatically. So let me say I want batch B and 001. If you want to add some properties, you can do that, like manufacturing data, expiration date, or something like that. Although these are not at all necessary. If you want to add the vendor batch data, this is something else. But for now, we'll just focus on the working of the batch number. So we have created one batch, and if you can see, we can create another one here. Guys, one more thing. Since the batch number is enabled in this item, now everywhere, where whatever transaction you are doing, whether you are doing inventory, whether you are doing the purchase or the sales, everywhere the system will ask, please provide the batch number, because now this item is tracked throughout the system using batch number. Okay, so let me add another batch number here. Let me say B002, and I'll click on save. Somehow I clicked there. Let me navigate back. Anyway, released products. So basically, this is how we are adding the batches manually. Let me navigate to my product. If I look at the inventory batches, okay, I got it. Okay, two batches are created. Perfect. Now what I want to do is, let me duplicate the tab. I want, to buy something. I want to create a purchase order. So what I'll do is, and we can see right now, since we haven't made any kind of inventory transactions yet, so our on hand will be 0, and our transactions, we will have no transactions there because we haven't done any. So you can see our on hand is showing nothing, and our transactions is also blank. All right. What I'll do now is I'll quickly create a purchase order. I can create purchase order from here also. And I just want to receive the item. Okay. So I'll click on new. I'll click on, let me add any vendor. Now this should work fine. Let me add the warehouse 11. Okay. Simple warehouse. Click on OK. Let me add the item number. VK juice was our item number. And I want 10 quantities of this. This is actually slow. Okay, thank you. Anyway, so now I want to receive it and register it. So what I'll do, guys, is I'll click on update line and I'll go to registration. Let me try to register it. So now you will face the error. If you don't specify the batch number, you will actually get an error. Let me try to add this, and batch number it's already showing. Anyway, I just don't want to enter this. I'll try to click on confirm registration, and you will see we'll get an error that this is actually batch controlled item, and hence you have to specify the batch number. So we've already created the batch number. So if you put a drop down here, you can see we do have two batches where we can increase the inventory. So you can select any of this batch number. And if you haven't created a batch number yet, that's not a big deal. Go to view details, try to add a batch. Let me say your batch is not B002, so I'll go to B003. Click on save. That is all I have to do. And I can select this batch number. Well, I want batch number 3. I want quantity of, let me say, 6, and want to add another line. And here in batch 002, I want a quantity of 4. Yeah, so this is what I want. What I'll do now is I'll just click on confirm registration. Registration is confirmed. So we can see the things are registered. We can do the product receipt now. Well, this is the process I've already explained in procurement and sourcing video. Please feel free to check out that. Let me try to confirm this. Meanwhile, this page is coming up. I'll just show you. Okay, let me confirm posting. I don't want to print. Okay. So guys, the thing is, if you are not entering the batch number on registration, suppose you're not doing registration, you just want to do the product receipt, then you will face the same error on the product receipt as well. You have to, do this process. If it is a batch control item, it will need the batch number on physical update. Okay. Meanwhile, it is getting confirmed. But anyway, we really don't need to do the product receipt and all, because we already know that while doing the registration, you will get your inventory and it is updated. So we can see that batch number 2 is having 4 and 6. So yeah, so this is how you can add the quantities using batch number on the purchase. But there's one thing, this process seems to be a little bit, it's kind of a slow process. Now the second question arises, what if we can automate this process? So instead of defining the batch number here and each and everything, I just want that whenever I'm trying to receive the product, so it should create the batch of its own, and there must be a proper numbering sequence for a specific item. For example, if I'm receiving this VK juice, so my batch numbers should start from J001, to some predefined format. This is very much possible, and we'll have a look there now. So what we need to do is, so this was what I was telling you, the manual process. In a lot, we can add the quantity. A lot is called batch. But instead of doing this manual process, I just want to show you how to automate this process and make it super fast. So guys, first and foremost, so this was all about like how you can add batches. Basically, if you navigate to the inventory management, and there is something called tracking dimensions and batches, so you can have a look at all the batches present in the system with this form. Also, there is a form where we can have a look at the serial numbers and the items which are assigned. So right now you can see there are few items assigned, few batches. This is a very nice, form where you can filter out the relevant items and their batch numbers, just to get an idea of what that thing is. Okay. So anyway, now this is how, and the same thing is in the sales. So the way you are doing all of these things in the purchase order, and so it is going to ask you the batch number, otherwise it will throw an error. Similarly, guys, when you will be selling this product, during the time of selling also, it will be asking you the exact batch number for this item, because this item is actually batch controlled. So while doing the picking process and how to do the pick and put each and everything, I've already explained it in my video, which is sales full course. So when you will be picking this particular item, there you will have to pick the correct batch, and this will actually show up in the picking list form. Okay, so and similarly is the case when you want to transfer using the transfer general, or you want to use it using the transfer order. Basically, once you have the batch enabled, once you know how you've created the batches, and once there is inventory in the batch, As you can see, we have the inventory that batch batch 001, 002, and 003. So we do have the on-hand list. If you look here, B001 and hold on. This is, let me go to the product information management, released products. And if you look at this on-hand inventory, so you'll find that we can see the inventory, and that is also batch wise. So basically now if you want to pick, if you want to transfer, if you want to sell, whatever you want to do, you will have to specify, okay, you are wanting this quantity, but from which particular batch. Anyway, enough with the manual batches. Let us navigate to the process where we can just automate this process. For that thing, guys, you need to go to manage inventory and click on the batch number group. So these are the, so this is a kind of auto auto number group where you will actually be able to automate the process. Let me say I want a number sequence, and let me call it the juice. Okay, copy, paste. One more thing, guys. So you want the automatic batch number? Well, okay, but what are the components? I mean, should it be differentiated on the basis of lot ID? Do you want some reference? I mean, what should be the content of your label? I don't want any date. I don't want any lot ID. I don't want anything else. I just want a number sequence. I want it to update for inventory transactions. Obviously, on a physical update, which means while I'm doing registrations or product receipt, I want the numbers to be automatically generated. Perfect. But what should be the number sequence code? Here, we are going to define the number sequence code. Now, let me create a new number sequence and call it the JB juice batch number, whatever you want. Company, I want it specifically for my USMF legal entity. So USMF. I do not want the name of company, just want a constant. Let me say I want my batch number for this particular item to start with J, because obviously it's a juice. So J hyphen, and I just want a, you know, I think only 3 digits batch. So it should be like J 001, 002, something like that. Okay, now since I've specified only 999, so the correct range should be in 999, else it will throw an error. I want these things to be continuous in number. I'll click on save. So basically now I have one proper number sequence, which is going to give me the sequence as such, like J hyphen 001, 002, and or something. So the name of this is JB. Now I'll just write or tag the JB number sequence code. So guys, this is what I have done. I want my, okay, I want my batch number. It should not have any of the components of date or reference number or lot. I know. I just want a proper number sequence, JV hyphen 001, 002. Okay. And I want it for the inventory transactions. I want it whenever we are doing physical update. In the activation, you can see this needs to be done, purchase activation. So it will not work if this thing is disabled. Inventory activation, if it is happening during the time of production. So this is basically on what particular processes you want this thing to happen. So I want it on purchase, inventory, production. Can one is like it's lean manufacturing related. Anyway, this is the most important thing. Wherever you want it, purchase and inventory. If you are using production, obviously you need to enable this. And one more thing, per quantity. It's a very interesting field. Let me say you want a lot of 5 quantities each. Means if I'm going to receive 20 quantities, it should be automatically divided into 4 batches. JB001, 002, 003, 004. And every batch is going to hold 5 quantities. This is a very interesting field. Let me put the quantity 5 here. Now we are all set as how to use the automatic batch numbering. Now all that pain of just every time trying to create a new batch number and then just adding that, no. Now we can use this thing. And guys, the most important use of this whole setup actually comes in the production activation. Whenever you are creating a finished good, you already know what is your next number sequence, which is going to be there for the production of finished goods. For example, you already know that our next sequence is going to start from J0099 to J00200. So all you have to do is just to set up, do these kinds of settings. But anyway, I'll just show you how these things are in action. I'll click on save. Okay, now we need to tag the batch number group. As soon as I tag the batch number group, now this process is now automated. How? Let us see. Click on purchase order. Let me try to add another line and the same item. Let me say I want to receive 32 quantities. So I'm hoping I will get, the 6 batches, 6 5 equals 30, and 2 batches. I mean, 2 quantities. So 7 batches I should be getting starting from J001 because that is what we've defined. Okay. I'll click on save and try to register the line. Click and registration. Add a registration line. And listen, once you've specified the batch number group here, you will not get error during the confirmation here, because this now we don't need to manually write and fill all of these things. The system knows it. Just click on confirm registration. I'll click on confirm registration, and now behind the scenes the batch numbers are created, and you can see exactly 7 batch numbers, and the first 6 are for the 5 quantities. Why? Because we gave the per updated quantity as 5. It means just switch on to the next batch as soon as 5 quantities added. So this is really interesting. Plus, we do not have anything else in our batch number except the number sequence code, which we defined using this. If you want that your that your batch number should include number sequence code plus lot ID plus date, this batch number, then it will become super messy. But anyway, there are companies who actually want that whenever their batch numbers are created, they should be created by having date or some sort of reference, something like that. But this is the way. Everything is registered. You can do the product receipt and you are good to go. Plus, let's have a look at what is present in our inventory. Now in our inventory, we'll see that our inventory is updated properly with the exact amount of batch numbers and the quantities. Now you want to sell this, you can definitely sell this. You will have to pick every time whenever you'll be selling. Let me say you want to sell 25 quantities. So basically you will have to select all of these quantities, like, okay, we can sell this okay. So this is how the automatic generation of number sequence will happen. Now I'll quickly try to do the same for the serial number, because there we have something different, and then we'll try a combination both of that. What I'll do now is I'll quickly create a new product, and for the serial number item, let me say it's VK laptop. I'll paste it. And this time I'm going to select, first let me select this, first in, first out, item group, raw materials, storage dimensions, site and warehouse, tracking dimension. Let me have a quick look at the tracking dimensions, what I want or what not, so I can see serial. Okay, this is the serial number is active, physical inventory, serial number in production. I think this should work fine. Serial should work fine for me. And one more thing, there is something important here. Let me create my own v serial. Great. Always. Let me try to copy this. Try to save. Guys, here I want my serial number to be active. I want it primary stocking. I want it physical inventory. Now, the most important thing right now here is the serial number control. Well, you have these two settings also. Feel free to, check these out. These are very simple features. Like if you want to capture the serial number, if you want to, do this thing, you can just, click on picking or packing. And if you want to register the serial number before consumption, it's a very simple thing. Just feel free to try this out. The most important thing is this one, serial number control. If I enable this, then and only then for one particular item, I cannot have two serial numbers, which obviously should not happen. One laptop, each and everything is similar. The very reason we want serial number is that, we should be able to track the items. But the system actually allows you to have similar serial numbers for the same item in the same legal entity, which can turn out to be quite a mess sometimes, because then you will not know which product is sold or which was in the inventory, which was not. So since we want to track them absolutely, like in a unique style, so make sure your serial number control is turned on. This means now at one time, in one legal entity, in one particular item, there will be only one serial number of that particular number. We cannot have like two or three serial numbers which are actually same. For example, item one, item laptop, we are having serial number 123, and in the second line also, in the on and inventory, we are having serial number 123. No, that will not be a possibility, and it should not happen. But make sure to enable this serial number control. Okay. So anyway, I'll select the V serial as my tracking dimension. V serial. Oh, this is the second one. Let me select my. Okay, and yeah, purchase price. Let me say it's like 55,000 INR is the purchase price. 65,000 is sales price. I'll click on OK. So right now this item will be tracked using the serial number, and every serial number is going to be different. Also, if you look at the batches, sorry, this is not a batch controlled item. So let me say you want to receive something, the same process, it's pretty much simple. Let me try to add this line. Let me try to add one quantity and, you know, click on save. Try to update the line. Click on registration. So you can see the serial number is already there. I mean, the serial number field is there. You click on confirmation, it's going to throw an error. Why? Because inventory dimension serial number must be specified. Well, all you have to do is to just add the serial number here. Click on new. Just add any serial number, whatever you want. Let me say SN 001. If you want to maintain some sort of description, that is again fine. We'll just, just use this. Also, guys, one more important thing. You might be wondering that, you have to create and then you have to paste the serial numbers. Actually, when we are using the advanced warehouse management, there is a very simple technique where you just have to scan this. You should note, right now the inventory is, it's coming inside the system. So basically, instead of typing all of these things, the users are actually scanning. Serial number scanned, that is all. Serial numbers one scan, two scan, three scan, registered and done. So all these things are very simple and very much intuitive. Right, exactly whatever is happening inside the premises, the same will be happening in the ERP. But that is for the warehouse mobile device user. You can use that. Feel free to try that thing out. But for now, I'm just telling you like how the transactions will happen. So once you are able to specify these serial numbers, you can click on yeah. There's one more functionality of creating the serial numbers. We'll discuss it how to use that also. So basically, if you are having, let me say, quantity of 10 or 20 or 30, so you can just create serial numbers and the serial numbers will be created. Okay. First, let me try to confirm this registration. No, it's really taking a lot of time. This should not take. Meanwhile, what I'll do is I'll try to create another serial number group. Same process. Let me try to create one for this so that we can see this thing in action too. Let me see. Oh my God, it's really taking a lot of time. Guys, this is the issue with it appears that you've lost network connectivity. I think I haven't. Reconnect. I think there is some sort of network issue only. Come on, come on. I try to duplicate. Seems to be working fine here. Some issue with environment, I suppose. As I told you, this environment is really not reliable. But anyway, okay, thank God. Okay, registered. So, we can register serial numbers. Let me try to add one serial number group also. Let me call it laptop. So guys, I'm going to do the same thing. I want a number sequence. I want only for inventory transactions, physical update, and I want one serial number to be specific for one item only. I don't want it for multiple. I'll just click on view details. Try to quickly add a new serial number. Let me say laptop shared and my legal entity SMF. I don't want the name of company. Let me say I just want SN hyphen, and I want only 4 SN. And so, yeah, this should match this 1, 2, 3, 4. I want these things to be continuous. Name is laptop. I'll click on save. So number sequence created. I'll put this number sequence here. Laptop. So I think we are all set up here. Number sequence, physical update. I want it especially on purchase, and yeah, looks good enough. So this sequence is created, and we'll attach the sequence here. But prior to that, even if you don't have sequence, and if you want to create the serial numbers, you will actually get this line of creating serial numbers everywhere in the production module also. So let us see how this thing works. I want to create serial numbers, and believe me, I haven't set up the serial number auto group yet, but still let me say I want to receive 10 serial numbers. I'll click on save and I'll click on update line. Let me say registration. And okay, so quantity is 10. All right. I just want to create serial numbers instead of doing that again and again. Create serial numbers. And now it's asking you, okay, splitting it into 10 transactions, start and what you want. Format, let me say, I think I haven't tried this one yet. Let me say, S hyphen, let me see if it works or not. From 00, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully this should work. So I'm expecting my serial number as S00001 to S0000010. Hopefully it will work without any error. Clicking OK. We also have this thing here, create serial numbers. So basically, I think this will be more easier because once all the lines are registered, now here we'll have to, now the transactions are splitting and we'll have to add these registration lines. I think it's better to do it here. This is what I think. Try to split it, please. Wow, this looks good. So basically, it's ordered and I can add this registration line here. This is added. I should select all of these. Let me try to select if I can select all of these. Actually, I haven't used this functionality for a couple of years now. Let me try to add registration lines. Great. So we could have done this here also. So we will not need to select all of these lines. Anyway, guys, so this is how the serial numbers, and we have the runtime format, or whatever format you will define, the serial numbers will be present. Okay, we can click on confirm registration and our registrations will be done. So once this is happening, you can do the product receipt and invoicing. And if I see my manage inventory, I can see that my on hand inventory is having all the related serial numbers. So this is what I created manually. This is what we created. Again, these things are created manually. This is created manually or during runtime without using the auto number group. So this is again a very cool way to do that. But now I want my SN that sort of format. The serial number should be created. So I'll click on serial number group and we'll click on laptop, click on save and exit this registration. Let me add another line of laptop. This time I want to add 5 quantities. So I'll be expecting my original number sequences SN001, 2, 3, 4, 5. This should be there. Hopefully we will get that. So VK laptop is the item here. Let me say I'm having 5. Save, update line, and click on registration. And see, now I'm neither going to click create serial numbers here, neither here. I'm just trying to add this line 5. Okay, since I've already specified my number sequence group in serial number, I'm expecting the system will do it for me. So I'll click on confirm registration, and behind the scenes, it should be able to split all these transactions. Yeah, see, exact number sequence that we wanted. It's registered, the things are done. If I look at the product details and on hand inventory, I can see that my serial numbers are there. So this is like how you can automatically populate the serial numbers. And remember, guys, this thing you will find it, whenever you are dealing with the item which is a serial number controlled. So you'll find these items in everywhere, wherever there's a possible need. During the production, also there are forms. So during the update registrations, whenever you want, for example, your FG is of 10 quantity, and now before reporting them as finished, you want that it should be converted to the various serial numbers. So on the production form also, you will find in the update registrations that create serial numbers can be created, and then finally you can report as finished, those products and your production order. Similarly, I think I should tell you how the combination of both of. So actually, I think we don't need a real demo. If you select the item, for this combination also, I think it will be a redundancy. If you want the item should be batch number and serial number controlled, guys, all you have to do is, just while creating a new product and going to the tracking dimensions, just create one product, create one tracking dimension and enable both of these things. Enable both of these things. So now your system will always want a batch number and a serial number. Without one missing or both the missing, the transaction will not complete. It will be asking, please specify the batch number and the serial number. Once you've specified the batch number and serial number, basically you can do the purchase, receiving, or selling, or anything as such. Also, during the production, it will be asking you both of these things, provide the batch number, provide the serial number. Also, you can provide both of these things by giving batch number group and serial number group simultaneously. So during the time of purchase order, receiving, or sales order, these numbers, the batch numbers as well as the serial numbers, will be automatically populated without any issue. Now we have done purchase. I just want to quickly show you a sales order, how we can do that. But rest of the orders, please feel free to try it out on your own. This is uh, a quick demo of how these things can be done. So I'll try to sell a, a purchase order. So all these things, sorry, I'll try to sell these two items, VK juice and laptop. I think we can confirm all and we can try to receive this. So there's nothing much more left in receiving. Meanwhile, I'll try to create a new sales order. Come on, come on. Let me try to receive these. Since we've already done all the registrations, really don't need to do anything in receiving. The item inventories, everything is already there. So if you are not doing the registration, then during this time also, if you go to the lines, you will anyway have to update the line and then make those serial numbers and batch numbers. You'll have to specify the serial numbers and batch numbers, otherwise the system will throw you the error here. But anyway, since we've already done the registrations and all, we can directly click on the registered quantity, and yeah, click OK. So finally you will be able to, okay, number sequence not specified. Okay, I forgot to specify the product receipt number. Let me click on OK. So product receipt posting will happen. Meanwhile, I want to create a new sales order. Let me, I think this looks good. Okay, let me try to select warehouse. No, I want warehouse 11 because that is the place where we have received all our inventory. So we'll try to add a laptop, 2 pieces of laptop, and let me say VK juice. I want a quantity of, let me say 6, and I want VK laptop, VK laptop, and let me say I want a quantity of 3. Okay, so now we can click on save. I'm really not worried about pricing and all right now. Just want to confirm the sales order. So guys, operation completed. Please close. And we can see our product receipt is generated. So this is how you can receive. If you want to do any kind of inventory transactions, the process will be same. The only thing is you'll have to specify the batch number, serial number, or a combination of both, depending upon what are you doing. Anyway, so confirm the sales order. Yes, please do the confirmation. And then we'll try to pick and pack both of these line items. And we are getting an error. Why? Okay, some credit management functionality is enabled. Hold list. Please release this. No particular reason. Auto release. Okay, yeah, release it. Although we really don't need to confirm for picking, but I was just trying to show you the relevant steps, especially for the beginners. They seem to be a little bit confused about these. Anyway, so a confirmation is done. We'll try to pick the items. Let me say I want to pick VK juice, so I'll click on update line and I'll click on pick, and you can see I'll try to add a picking line. So here we will have to specify the batch number, otherwise it will throw the error. If you want to pick 6 quantity, fine, but pick from which batch. So it's showing us the batch and all. Okay, so let me say I want to pick 3 quantities, and batch number is and so click on hand and view available. I have available for in batch B002. I'll select this one. Let me add another line. Okay. Site 11. and picked quantities 2. Let me say this looks good enough. Click on confirm. Okay, the status is picked and picked. So we have picked up both of these. So basically I've picked 2 batches, B002 and B003. I'm good to go. Similarly, if I want to pick the laptop, I'll click on update line and click on pick. And you can see I need 3 quantities. Okay. So since all of our serial numbers are different, so what I'll do is I just want picked quantity 1 from here. We'll add another one, picked 1 from here, a VK laptop. Or a good idea will be, instead of doing all of this thing, come on. Site 11. Right. Okay. So what I'll do now is I'll quickly pick the serial number, whichever is available in the inventory. So I'll click on hand, and for now this serial number is available. Okay. I'll pick another one, which is present on hand. This one is available. Cool. So I just, for now, I'm just picking 2. I need 3. I can click on confirm pick all. 2 are picked, 1 is yet remaining. So instead of adding those 2 lines, I can directly just add 1 line from here. All the information will already be there. And I just want to pick another one. Let me say, this one looks good. Confirm pick all. All the lines are picked. And now we can do the packing slip posting and, invoicing, whatever you want to do. We'll click on post packing slip. Then I just want to post whatever I picked. Yeah, this thing looks good enough. Okay. So guys, this is how we deal with the batch numbers, controlled items, serial number controlled items, the combination of batch and serial number controlled items. These we have to deal them in the same way. And yeah, so this was all about, how you can utilize the batch numbers and serial numbers in Dynamics 365. Hopefully you got an idea of how, batch number and serial numbers are working in the D365 ERP. So that is all for today, and thank you very much. Soon I'll come out with another video. I have quite a few ideas in my mind, as like on what topics I should make videos. Anyway, thank you very much. So this was all. See you guys.